Hi everyone, welcome to Women of Warfare's very first video. So my name is Rochelle and I am the owner and founder of Women of Warfare Ministries. So this is the first time I've done a video so far. And last night I had a dream. So God speaks to me a lot through dreams and visions. And I have shared some visions and encounters publicly. But this is the first time that the Lord has given me a dream and has prompted me to share it publicly. So obviously this dream isn't just for me, it's for all the women and daughters of God. So I'm gonna read the dream and then I'm gonna try to interpret as I go and then specifically show what the Lord has showed me for all of you. This is the dream that I woke up to this morning. I was in a hospital and had just given birth to a baby. It felt like the room was filled with this soft, warm light. 7 days later, I was in the hospital, still in the hospital, and just knew I was pregnant again. But how would anyone believe me? I was still in the hospital and I had just given birth 7 days before and had been alone. So for me, babies represent ministry. And I know God has called me to marketplace ministry. So babies could mean different types of ministries, businesses, spiritual children. So I would have you ask the Lord, specifically, what is he calling you into? So that's what babies to me, and even biblically, it talks a lot about spiritual, like labor pains and spiritual births. I'm going to add some scriptures later, but just to get through the dream and the interpretation, I'll do the scriptures later. So we're talking about spiritual pregnancies here and spiritual births here. I was still in the hospital and had just given birth and had been alone. So I went to the bathroom to take a pregnancy test. It didn't look like a normal pregnancy test. It had all these different test areas to show you different things in your urine in addition to pregnancy. So if you're a woman, you know what a regular pregnancy test looks like. There's usually just like two little spots, a test area to make sure the test is working properly, and then one that gives you a positive or negative. So this test had like all these different little test areas and like little words and symbols, and it all looked foreign. Like it wasn't in English. It was things that I didn't understand and didn't recognize, but I knew that it was a pregnancy test. So to me, that is, that shows like all the different testing fields and giftings and just different things that the Lord has placed inside of you or me that, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, that we may not recognize. All the test fields came up when the time was completed. It all looked foreign, so I couldn't tell what it said. I called the nurse in for her to read it and asked her to read it. So that's what I'm talking about there is, I believe all the different testing fields represent different giftings and callings that God has on my life and your life, and that we may not even recognize. We may not think that that's for me, because how could that be for me? Because it's going to be so different than what we think that it could be. That it's not going to look the way that we think that it may look. For some reason, there was a man in a suit with her and a few other men. The nurse checks out the test and looks at me with wide eyes and a bit confused and says, "You're pregnant." I started rambling saying, "How can I be pregnant? How can this happen? I just gave birth 7 days ago. I don't even have a uterus. It was impossible." So this part here, what really came to my mind was the world will deem you unqualified. So there's going to be this massive birthing in women. And this birthing is ministries, it's spiritual children, it's businesses, it's leadership, it's all these things. And God is going to place women in positions and in different arenas that, according to the world, they could never have been there. The world will deem you unqualified. You may not have degrees, no formal training, and in biblical things. You may not be a licensed pastor, or you're not going to be a biblical theologian, according to even the church. Like, the church may even look at you and be like, why is she there? Why did God put her there? God couldn't have done that, because look at her. She's not smart enough. Doesn't have this degree. She doesn't have that degree. But God has called you, qualified you, equipped you, and sent you out. There's no logical explanation on how I had just given birth, and now 7 days later was pregnant again. Like I just said, it's not going to make any sense for you to be in the place that you are in. Because with God, He does the impossible. He does things that don't make sense because, well, that's how He shows that He's God. He's a God of miracles and a God of the unexpected, not a God of what a human could do. If I could just do it myself, what's the point? Like, that's just proving that I attained that myself. And that's not how God works. God does things through Him. And it's through His power and His work and His abilities and He can do anything. It's not our abilities. It's Him, His power working through us. And these pregnancies and these births, it's going to be sudden. All of a sudden, like one right after the other, you're going to be like, okay, God, what's next? What's next? It's going to be shocking to you. It's going to be mind-blowing to you because you won't see it coming, or maybe you will feel like that pressure that you feel like something is coming, but you're not sure what it is. Then one of the men steps forward and starts talking about how I have a high anointing on my life and how anything is possible, and that's why I'm giving birth to so many children. I'm standing there in a hospital robe listening to this man talk in shock that he's actually saying these things about me. He continues to talk about the anointing on my life for a few minutes. So this man, I believe, represents God or Jesus, because it's like God is presenting His bride to the world. Like, God is sending us. God is presenting us. And He is the one that affirms and puts the anointing on our life. It's God that puts the anointing on our life. And it's Him. I feel like it's like Him. He's announcing us. He's announcing the women. He's announcing His daughters. Then at the end of this dream, my spouse came in, and it's a woman. So in your own human mind, you're thinking, okay, well, why would her spouse be a woman? Well, and then that brings me to, because I have a lot of dreams, I understand more. I've learned a lot. It's literally a learning process. Like, the more dreams you have, the more you pray into it, and the more God's going to show you, and you will begin to recognize what certain things represent certain things as you're dreaming and seeking God on this. So that represents a covenant relationship. And I looked up, I loved this definition of a covenant is an unbreakable agreement between two parties to support, provide, protect, and defend each other. In the Bible, God initiates covenant relationships with chosen people such as Noah, Abraham, Moses, and the nation of Israel. In these relationships, God makes promises and asks his partner to fulfill certain commitments. So, I believe this woman that was with me is someone that God is sending to me to, and it's going to be a relationship, a divine relationship that he has sent to me, that he has called this person into ministry with me, that is going to be a partner in this ministry of raising up this million woman crowd that he showed me. And that God is sending women, like he's sending us relationships that he has called into us, that are going to support us, that are going to be real divine relationships, that is bringing us all together in such a way that it's going to be real, it's going to be genuine, it's going to be honest, it's going to be like a marriage relationship almost. Like it's not just going to be a casual friendship that you have to wonder if are they going to lie about you, or are they going to get jealous of you and try to just use you. It's not. I feel like those relationships are going to start falling off, and then God is bringing in divine relationships that he has specifically chosen for you, that he's connecting you with during the season to call you into the fulfillment of his calling on your life. And I have so much stuff here. I can't possibly go into every single bit of this dream and every single thing, but I'm trying to get at least most of the things. Let's see if I've gotten most. Okay, so as I was praying and seeking the Lord, about this, he showed me a vision of a million women movement. There was a massive crowd of women that was racing and running towards God. They were being released by God into their assignments. Then I saw myself leading among these women. And this also reminds me of a vision the Lord gave me, I think probably like 2 years ago. And I saw, in this vision, I saw a huge crowd of women, but it just started out with just 2 or 3 women. And the crowd just grew from that 2 or 3 to women, 2 more women, 2 more women, to where it was just like so many women that everyone was shoulder to shoulder. And above these women, I saw these huge, thick handcuffs and chains that had these women bound for years, for their whole lives. And in this vision, I saw these were thick, not just like little tiny police handcuffs, like huge, thick handcuffs and chains. And these chains were just disintegrating, like literally turning into the dust and disintegrating. And God is setting his women free. He's raising us women up, his daughters up, and setting us free from bondages, from generational curses that have plagued us our entire lives. And then he reminded me of an encounter I had with an angel back in January of this year. And in this encounter, I was in bed and an angel came to me. This was the second time the same angel had come to me. And she was singing to me. And what she sang to me was, the Father is raising you up, is about to raise you up before the nations. And this is what I see the Lord doing. He's raising his women up before the nations. And as I continued to pray and listen, I heard the Lord say very clearly, mothering a nation. The Lord is raising up women in ministry like this world has never seen before. Women leading women, women leading children, women raising up spiritual children. This is going to be like, it may start out with just a few, and then it's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And I'm just like, if I can get on here and do this, Trust me, you can do it too. And this dream, I feel like this is like such a, for me, because the Lord has never prompted me to share a dream publicly before, that to me shows the intense and the massive importance and how profound this is for the women. So I hope this is an encouragement to you. I'm going to, if you can go follow my Facebook page, it's Women of Warfare Ministries. And honestly, I don't know how to like post links or anything in a video yet. So hopefully I can learn that later. But I just want to pray for you all. And Father, I just come to you and I lift up your daughters and your women. Father, and I thank you for what you are doing, Father, in your daughters' lives. And that the way that you see us and that you just look at us with such tender love and adoration, and you cherish us, and the way that you just gently love us and want us to just crawl up into your lap and let you take care of us, Father. I thank you for everything that you're doing, and I pray that your spirit speaks through the women in this video, and I just pray blessings on everyone, and I pray that that you hear the Lord in a way that you've never heard him before. I encourage you to seek him and ask God. Say, Father, speak to me in my dreams. Show me visions. I want to hear your voice audibly. I want to know your heart. The more time you spend in the secret place, the more you will see and understand God's heart for you. His love for you, the way that he sees you. And the more you understand and see those things, you'll begin to see yourself in the way that God sees you. And there's no other freedom than that. Like, just that is like, it gives you freedom. So I thank you all for listening to this, and I will probably be back on here again as the Lord leads me. See y'all.